I still remember being a toddler, so easily startled, my parents playing peekaboo and I freak out. But then all of that changed when I watched the first Pokemon movie and Ash Ketchum turned to stone. I knew in that moment that I had to be better. I had to expect the unexpected. And since that day, I've never been surprised. Until today, that is. Casey Anthony announced that she's going to become an influencer. Yeah, the Casey Anthony. You know, the one that murdered her daughter? Yeah, she has come out of the shadows to become an influencer, and she made a big video about it. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'm not here just to regurgitate what I feel most of you know about the Casey Anthony case. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend watching some videos or researching it because it is one of the most deplorable miscarriages of justice since the OJ trial. It is still infuriating.
I sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings.
Hopefully this is not the first of many videos, Casey. Hopefully this is the last one. Maybe the case just gets reopened spontaneously so justice can finally be served for when you killed your daughter. That'd be hopeful. Also, if you're gonna film a video, can you at least take it off of like this slant? It looks like I'm falling down like a fucking water slide trying to watch this. Got the goddamn audience with the drunk goggles on here trying to see whatever you're yapping about. Like, why would you even film a video when it's like this? All cattywampus and shit.
On a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011.
Really? That's a big statement. In the legal field since 2011, eh? What happened in 2011, Casey? Oh my god. It's just kind of sickening because she's just gloating about it. This is like a victory lap about how she got away with murder and now all of a sudden she's a crack shot legal advocate. I already said I wasn't just going to yap about her case directly, but I can't help it since she just kind of brought this up here. She didn't do shit! Her lawyer worked her like a goddamn flesh puppet, like it was a ventriloquism act. Her lawyer is an evil mastermind who was able to convince a jury of lobotomites that they had been emotionally compromised by everything they had been hearing throughout the trial. Meanwhile, he was emotionally manipulating the jury to throw doubt in there so that way they would reach this impossible verdict. He pulled off the most outrageous Hail Mary. Casey didn't do shit. She also got very lucky that for some reason her searches weren't really used in court, such as things like foolproof suffocation methods. Casey Anthony is not some fucking Phoenix Wright level legal advocate. Her lawyer is the one that made the deal with the devil to get her acquitted on this.
And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate that I start to advocate for myself.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
And also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself.
Like introducing poop to a toilet. This is not the first time she's tried to reintroduce herself. She should be reintroducing herself to a prison cell for murdering her daughter. She did try and get her name back out there a few years ago with a Peacock docuseries called Casey Anthony Where the Truth Lies, I think is what it was. And it was her telling her side of things. And to me, it feels like she uses her name and infamy as a money-making tool. So now she's once again using her name and infamy as a means of having a platform online to become an influencer to make money off of her name and infamy. And what's sad, it's working and will continue to work. She has a ton of people who unironically support her, even knowing she murdered her daughter and got away with it. They don't care. That's the current climate of things. It's become very clear that no matter who it is or what they've done, as long as their name made it to a news headline or got spread around in some way, shape, or form, that person will have supporters. Fucking O.J. Simpson, before he kicked the bucket, before he met his maker, had a brief bout as an influencer. Like, it doesn't matter that she killed her daughter in the eyes of these absolute fucking troglodytes that just for some reason want to champion anybody at all.
I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack.
No thanks, Casey. I think I'll pass on that. I think I'd rather join the Cock and Ball Torture Enthusiast Club than listening to you pat yourself on the back about getting acquitted of murdering your daughter.
If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters.
Don't have any questions on legal matters, but since you're talking to us in a professional fashion, may I ask you a professional question? Where the fuck are you? What are you doing in that car right now? You can hear her turn signal is on. Or maybe she has a metronome in the car? Like, is she trying to hypnotize us through the video? Like, what is that? Why is your turn signal on? Are you filming this while driving? She's doing this at like a red light or something? Imagine being one of the poor souls behind her. She just sits in her car filming a fucking 5-minute video at the red light.
I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008.
Wow. How brave. What a hero, Casey. Yeah, that platform that was thrust upon you. Time to turn it into a blessing. Right. That's very strong, very strong. I cut around some of her blabbering, but I really wanted to show you that part. She takes on this tone that she's some kind of victim, and now she's rising from the ashes like a phoenix from this circus she was put through to use her expertise as a legal advocate to give a voice to the voiceless. And now she's here to help all of us. Too fast, too furious. Casey Anthony is back. She was a victim. A curse thrust upon her, but she turned that curse to a purse where she's gonna make a lot of money off being an influencer and a legal advocate for everybody's benefit. Yeah, Casey Anthony, wee. It goes on for like another minute. I'm not gonna bother even going through the rest of it. The turn signal stays on for the remainder of the video, or whatever the fuck that noise is. But overall, Casey Anthony rebrand is pretty successful. More successful than IHOP to IHOB back in the day. That didn't go over nearly as well as the Casey Anthony rebrand. And it's really fucking sad. That really sucks. Imagine a world where you are arguing, well, Casey Anthony said, like as if it means anything, as if that has any real merit or value. Well, I was following Casey Anthony, and she gave me this unbelievably great advice. Oh, you were following Casey Anthony. Like, full stop, that's where I would write you off as an absolute, unstable, unwell lunatic. That you would be taking advice from Casey Anthony. But that's the world we're in right now. There are people that are now following Casey Anthony as a champion. It's so disgusting. I just can't even picture what kind of rotten dweeb maniac would unironically turn to Casey Anthony of all people for advice on anything at all, unless it's how to get away with killing someone. It's just, we've got some wild shit going on here. It's what I think to be a pretty obvious, blatant attempt at just using her name as a means of making money off people who right now, we live in a time where people will follow and support literally anybody and anything, no matter what. So she's trying to capitalize off of that. So I think it absolutely sucks. That's about it. See ya.